So it's finally happened. The BBC have put out an article about a few people that have been using Ozempic, even though they have no need to use Ozempic. Before we get into the BBC report, let's just pause so I can ask you guys to please subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you are a returning viewer. It means you're liking the stuff I do, so help me out by hitting subscribe. Let's get into the video. I've been talking for quite a few weeks about this, about how there's gonna be a load of people who are gonna take the drug even though they do not need to. And it's prompted by loads of celebs, okay? The Robbie Williams was the latest one. I did a post about him. I'll stick the link down there for you to see it if you haven't already. But there's loads of others. There's Amy Schumer. There's flipping Lizzo, the body positive queen. She also went on Ozempic. Serena Williams, Oprah, do I go on? There's countless others, right? The problem with this is that it influences people to do the same. People who really don't need the drug. Remember, first and foremost, it's a diabetes treating drug that people found that they lost weight on. What it does is if we don't already know, I'm sure we already do, there's loads of reports out there, it suppresses your hunger. It effectively suppresses your hunger so that you don't eat. And BBC have brought out this report following two individuals who are already in pretty good shape. They have jumped on Ozempic because, like they always say, it's the same stuff, I've tried everything. Well, they haven't tried everything because they want to get that figure that they really, really want, and they're not prepared to diet for long enough to get there. So let's delve into this. The first lady is a lady called Gabrielle. She was trying to lose weight through COVID, it says on the report, and the last few stubborn pounds weren't coming off, just weren't coming off. Of course, what happens is I'll tell you exactly what happens. You initially lose weight. The first bit of weight loss is relatively straightforward. And then your body starts getting used to its new calorie intake and the weight loss slows down. Then what you have to do then is you either have to move more, bring the calories down a bit more, or just continue to be as consistent as you can, okay? So that is the answer to that question. Not, oh, I've just tried everything. Oh yeah, I've tried everything, except the thing. You know the thing, I tried it, but except the actual thing that you're supposed to do. So anyway, let's go on. Here it is here, in writing. She has tried everything, she says. Going on a stricter diet, being more consistent with high intensity workouts 6 days a week. No, I just don't believe it. I don't believe she's gone on a stricter diet. What she might mean is she's eaten foods that she thinks are good for her, but she hasn't put herself into enough of a restriction to lose weight. That's what's happened. So she hasn't tried everything, but she's tried everything. But nothing worked for the Brazilian lawyer who weighed 76 kilos. Fucking hell. She's not exactly a whale, is she? Do you know what I mean? 76 kilos. What's wrong with that? Then friends let her in on a secret. They'd been using the weight loss injections and were thrilled with the results. So despite being a long-term fitness fanatic, Gabrielle 40 decided to do the same. So after a few of her mates who hadn't been working hard just went, oh, don't worry, love, just get on the weight loss jabs. Fuck all that hard work. Fuck all that. Just jump on the weight loss jabs. You'll very, very soon lose weight. And so she goes on to say that the results were almost immediate. Well, fucking obviously, okay? Because if you go from eating to not eating, the results are going to be immediate. It was surreal, recalls Gabrielle, which was not her real name. I'd go to the Japanese buffet, eat 6 pieces of sushi, and feel like I'd eaten the whole rack. Exactly to my point. She ate something, felt full up, didn't eat any more. There's your fucking answer. You've been overeating this whole time. So Gabrielle's BMI was 26.6. That's when she started the jab. So she was in pretty decent condition, really. I mean, officially, she's just over the BMI recommendation, but she'd been weight training. So she's put muscle on, so her weight would be a bit higher because of the muscle. It sounds to me like she was a person who was in good shape. Her BMI might have been slightly high, but only slightly. And for someone who weight trains, that's not so much of a bad thing. Let's move on to Andrew now, not his real name. 49 years old. He was below the threshold for the weight loss jab as well. Why? Because he was not overweight. Okay, that's why he wasn't prescribed the jab. He said he felt a bit puffy. That's how he described himself, a bit puffy. So not fat, just a bit puffy. So it's all about how he felt about himself. All right. So the answer to that is you be a bit more restrictive on the diet that you're on, or you exercise and move more. You don't need to take the extremity of going on this weight loss jab that's not for you. And all he had to do was complete a self-assessment online. Even though he wasn't eligible for jabs and he acquired them himself, he basically fucking bought them, like so many can do. So Andrew goes on to say that almost immediately, what I felt with the jab is that the food noise went away from me. I really enjoyed not having to think about food as much. So there it is, okay? So the food noise is he's constantly thinking about food all the time. So in his day-to-day life. So what he needed to do was find a way of creating new habits, making small changes in his life so that he could have a permanent effect. Because I guarantee you that this is not going to be a permanent effect. And it goes on to say that they both yo-yo with the weight loss jab. So they use it to get to a certain weight and then they come off it only to put the weight back on so they can use it again. I've talked about this in my last video. I fucking literally talked about this before I saw this report in my last video. Again, I'm going to stick that link down there for you to watch it. It says here, like Gabriel, he cycles off and on the jab, depending on his social events. He used them before a boat trip to the Mediterranean in the summer, so obviously to look good aesthetically, stopped for a couple of months, only to resume again before Christmas. And Gabrielle sometimes skips doses before parties so she can eat. Fuck me, this is getting crazy, man. It's crazy. It fucking really is. I don't know why anyone's not going, whoa, whoa, whoa. We've got to stop this shit. The good thing about this report is at least the BBC, he talked to some doctors to talk about the side effects and the potential side effects for people who use it in this way, people who don't need the drug, who use it in this way. Let's go into that a little bit. So Dr. Bruno Halpern, I hope I said his name right, said, but if millions of healthy people start using them, some without the medical need, we may begin to see some rare side effects much more regularly. Common side effects we've talked about before include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. But rarer, more serious ones include acute gallstone disease, pancreatitis, which just sounds fucking awful, and serious allergenic reactions. That does not sound fun. Gabrielle says her only issue so far has been mild stomach pain, which she blames on a combination of not eating, drinking alcohol while using the jab. So this is the fucking thing. People just want to live a life where they don't change anything. They change a certain amount, they get to a certain point, they want the body, they want that physique, but they're not willing to sacrifice enough. It sounds to me, I don't know this person, but it sounds to me like what Gabrielle wants is exactly that. She wants to go out and live her life and drink when she wants to and think, shit, I've gained a bit of weight, I'll just jump on that jab. That is so fucking wrong. And at the end of this report, it fucking confirms my suspicions, is that they have no intentions of stopping, because getting on the drug means that they set no habits at all. So they don't know what the fuck to do. The report even says that they use it as a yo-yo. They come off and then the weight comes back on because their deep hunger comes back. And they jump back on it again, and they have no desire to stop. It says it right here. It says, despite the risks, Gabrielle and Andrew say they have no plans to stop. I think I've become addicted to it, admits Gabrielle, while Andrew sees the drug as a long-term commitment to his appearance. He sees it as a relatively informed risk that he's taking. Now, forgive me. I mean, in the last video, Robbie Williams talked about losing his sight because of it. We're talking pancreatitis as a side effect, albeit a rare one. But even in this report, it's saying that it becomes less rare if people who don't need to take it, take it. So the idea that this individual, and I'm sure many others are going to be doing this, are going to take this simply for the aesthetics. And what blows my fucking mind is you could just do it anyway. You just have to work a little bit hard and take control of your own life. But the truth is, too many people out there want their cake and eat it. No fucking pun intended at all, because this is really, really starting to wind me up now. People are risking their health simply for their aesthetics that they could get anyway. And I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to call it out. No, you have not done everything you can. That's a lie. The reality is you've got to a certain point and you want the balance of going out while still looking really, really good. And you've gone, I'll just jump on that every few months. And it's as simple as that. But anyway, what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments and I'll see you next time.